Florida State adds a third commitment in a row, this time a defensive back from Southern Cal.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into Locked On Seminoles. I am your host, Brian Smith, longtime college football writer and recruiting analyst. Thank you for making Locked On Seminoles your first listen each and every day. Today's show is going to be all about the transfer portal commitment. It seems like Florida State gets one every day, and actually here lately, that's actually been the case. Florida State picks up Jarvis Boatright Jr. He's originally from Clearwater High School, just across the bay from Tampa. He is a Nole after spending his first year at the University of Southern California. I knew Boatright when he was in high school. We knew about him in the area because I lived in Tampa. Sophomore year, he was on the radar for schools. Offers from Georgia, Florida, Florida State, Syracuse, Tennessee, South Carolina, Penn State, all over the country. He decided he wanted to go across the country to try his hand out there with the Trojans. For whatever reason, he's coming back home to the Sunshine State, and Florida State's getting an athlete. He's over 6 foot. He's long. He's athletic. He honestly kind of fits the profile, what you would expect of a free safety coming out of the state of Florida. And on top of it, Jarvis Boatright Jr. is very intelligent. He's one of the smarter kids that I had a chance to get to know over the last few years in the recruiting world. Well-spoken, easygoing, and a great positive attitude, high academic profile, like all the things that you're looking for to represent Florida State University. Jarvis Boatright Jr. fits that to a T. Now, Florida State, they get Jeremiah Wilson a couple of days ago. The corner, ironically, another kid coming back home. He transferred in from Houston. He's originally from Kissimmee, and he played at Osceola. This is a really good trend. Not only are they getting guys to come back, but they're getting guys that have a lot of length at key positions. DB, Florida State wanted more blood at the corner position and safety. They get it done. And they've also done a pretty good job on defense. We'll talk about that in a minute. I was looking at the overall list of defensive players they got coming in, and several have multiple years of eligibility. They're trending a little bit better. I need to give them some credit. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But they also have Gavin Sawchuk on campus right now and Gavin Blackwell. Blackwell's from Carolina, and Sawchuk is from Oklahoma. Let's start with Sawchuk. Running back that was explosive. Some people thought he was the best running back in the country coming out in the class of 22. In 2023 for the University of Oklahoma, he averaged over 6 yards a carry. He was trending up. He was that guy. But then last year, everything went wrong for Oklahoma. Quarterback issues were just a travesty. They didn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 6 players at wide receiver get hurt, and everybody stacked the box. They really couldn't figure it out till later in the year. The only team they had a really great game against, running the ball, this is so weird, Alabama. I watched some of that game on TV. They just ran over it. But Sawchuk saw his numbers dwindle down, you ready for this, to 2.3 yards a carry. I don't get it, but they also lost some pretty good talent up front from the 2023 team to 24. So blocking wasn't that great. He was banged up a little bit, but he will be a senior this fall. And Sawchuk is a speedster. He's one cut and gone, 5'10", 5'11", 200 pounds, give or take. He's put together. He looks like an Oklahoma running back or a Florida State running back. He fits the bill. But my other question, and I talked about this the other day on Locked On Seminoles, how many guys can play? At a position, you've got a lot of talent. Keziah Holmes is going to be third or fourth string. I mean, he's a pretty talented football player. Do you find a role for him strictly at running back if he comes, or is Gavin Sawchuk going to be a guy they use a lot in the passing game? I think he could be that guy. He's playing around a little bit on Pro Football Focus, and not only is he a guy that has the speed to do some stuff, but he's had a few guys or a few catches that were okay and all that, but maybe they can get him to get over the hump. This is going to be his recognition. Hey, if I'm going to make it to the NFL, I've got to catch the ball better. He didn't do a great job of that in 24. He caught 3 passes. So looking at him in 2023 when he was far healthier and playing for a better team, he had 11 catches for 52 yards. But still, he wasn't a priority. So maybe that's the thing with him. Maybe he wants another chance before he tries to give a shove off to the NFL. Obviously, he wasn't going to go after last year with 2.3 yards a carry, but he looks for greener pastures too. I think this is intriguing because Sawchuk can fly. If you put him in the lineup with Jalen Lucas, or really some other guys too, it could be Cam Davis, it could be Sam. You could do a lot of different things with Florida State slot receivers and their ability to move it around and use RPO. Obviously, Thomas Castellanos is that guy. They're going to run some screens. Maybe they put Sawchuk in the slot. I have a really diverse thought process with him. Then again, maybe they just want to use him and try to get him the ball on the outside or an outside zone and some option plays with Thomas. But whatever it is, Sawchuk can fly, and he is a player that's going to fit Gus Malzahn's offense if they get it. To that point, I want to make sure I've made it clear here. There's a really strong trend, not just at Florida State, but across the country. When portal players take one visit, there's a good chance they commit. But after two, it's a really good chance they commit. I expect to see a lot of different players make decisions over the next week or two. Florida State will probably get one or two more is my guess. But if they don't get Sawchuk this weekend, I'd be surprised. Why would he be visiting with all the different offers he's had? There's got to be a connection somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's another visit somewhere. But my guess is Gavin Sawchuk is going to pick the Florida State Seminoles. We'll see if I'm also right. If he does come to Florida State and they're going to try to use him in a more diversified role than what Oklahoma did, it'd probably be good for him and for Florida State. Now, as for Gavin Blackwell, I want to talk about him here in a minute too, but this one's a little bit more interesting. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that one. That is next here on Locked on Seminoles. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse. Whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, SupplyHouse is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? SupplyHouse offers expert support and industry-leading service. So you'll always talk to a real person, and for trade pros looking for that extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That is supplyhouse.com. Florida State is also hosting Gavin Blackwell. He's a receiver from the University of North Carolina, has had a little bit of success. He's got some size, but he's a kid that I believe they recruited out of high school. Probably a connection still to somebody in Florida State's building. Don't know the full back dialogue, but connections, relationships, as I always talk about, that's everything in recruiting. Same in the transfer portal. But he's not been a guy that's real productive. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't think he's got 30 catches in his career. If he does, it's barely over. Why are they going after him? Is it the size? Is it the upside? Is this one of those scenarios that maybe Tim Harris Jr. thinks that he can fix whatever's going on? I have no idea. But it's interesting. And the other part of this, just honestly, how many good receivers are still left in the transfer portal? Spring window wasn't exactly bustling with top guys. Maybe Florida State's taking a flyer on this if they take him. I have no idea on that either. But he is not a bona fide guy. I'm curious on that one as much as anybody else, but we'll see. As I promised to wrap up the show today on this edition of Locked On Seminoles, I wanted to talk a little bit about the overall defensive haul for the portal. It's a little bit better overall than what I thought, and I might have missed somebody here. I went through it, but here's the base of what we're talking about. Florida State just gets Boatright. He's got 4 years of eligibility at safety. He's originally from Clearwater. Jeremiah Wilson comes home, a kid from Osceola High School, just south of Orlando. Really productive player. He's got a year left. He played at Houston. You got Caleb Lively from North Carolina. He's got 4 years of eligibility. Elijah Herring, DeMonte Diggs from Memphis and Coastal. They got one. at linebacker and defensive end, respectively. But then I believe it's 2 years for all three of the following guys: Jason Jenkins, defensive lineman from Tennessee; Deontay McCray, defensive lineman from Western Kentucky; and James Williams, the edge from Nebraska. James is a little more confusing to me because he played in the JUCO ranks. I think they get 1 year in addition to what they have, but I'm not sure. But I think he has 2 years as well. So you get something on the front end, the back end, and middle linebacker. You get a little bit of everything. But the key here is Florida State has hit a trend that Colorado and several other programs have went more to over the last year or so. That's finding quality talent that may not be necessarily completely developed, but they have multiple, meaning 2 or more years of eligibility to make you better. So let me put it to you like this. After this year, you're going to lose Darrell Jackson Jr. That's a tough pill to swallow because that's an NFL player in the middle of your defense. Okay. So you need to have reinforcements, especially guys that have grown man strength, have experience to help push the pile. You're going to have Jason Jenkins and McCray and Williams, among others. They're going to be seniors, fifth-year seniors. That is important. If you want to win big, having experience in the trenches and guys that have been through 2, 3, 4 years of college weight training is all but invaluable. Must have. Florida State used to always have juniors and seniors up front. It was rare that a sophomore would start on Florida State's D-line unless it was just a total incredible player. You pretty much had to be in your third year because everybody was good. You just had to wait your turn. This is a little bit different era, though, obviously, with the portal and things have gone sideways for a lot of programs and a lot of positions. Florida State's been very fortunate. This is not the way I would want to do it, but to be honest, they got a pretty darn talented defensive line. It's one of the top 20 in the country. How it ends up playing out, I don't know because of the new system. I'm very happy about that more than anything else. Now, does Elijah Herring and Stephon Johnson and all the different guys they got coming in, are they good enough? Yeah, Stephon's another one. I didn't write that one down. Are they good enough to give Florida State a top 25 defense? I believe they are. The key is still the one thing that I can't grade, nor can anybody else, including Norvell or any of the defensive staff. How are the players going to pick it up when they see things that they can't prepare for? Like first couple of games, especially Bama, they're going to run every unusual formation and shift and motion that you can possibly imagine to try to get Florida State in busted coverage. They're going to do everything because they got all summer to prepare for one game. That is a whale of a task. So are these guys going to be able to pick up the system in general and also be able to make some decisions on the fly based on where guys are lined up and where they're motioning? They're going to do all kinds of different pick plays and run bunch formations, do different things with it that they haven't showed. I guarantee it. All these experienced players I'd rather have out there, but there's still a lot to prove. Anyway, Florida State's transfer portal haul overall, and I might have missed somebody else too, but just that group right there is really good. This is a good start to building back, especially with a lot of these guys having more than 1 year of eligibility. I'll probably have at least one podcast, possibly two, this weekend. Had full shows between Sunday all the way through Thursday. Just wanted to kind of give a wrap-up show for the week here on Friday regarding the portal. And there could be another commitment tonight. Anything's possible. But by noon tomorrow, I'll have something up, if there is, talking about what that player can do, how Florida State got him, et cetera, et cetera. But once again, thank you once again for hanging out with me, talking some Florida State transfer portal news and about the roster. It has been wild. I still expect 2 or 3 more guys to possibly come, Gavin Sawchuk in particular. So keep it locked right here on Locked On Seminoles. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that like button and notification bell, and please share this podcast. Give us a 5-star review if you are on Apple or anyplace else. Talk to you again later here on Locked On Seminoles.